All right. We locked in. It's the Wheel1 podcast. Your boy Master Twice. I got a special guest in the cut right here. One of my roster mates. I'll say, John's in the cut with me right here. Highly appreciate it. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. No
it's
problem.
An honor to be here.
I appreciate you saying that. All right, so we're gonna get into it how we usually do, and kind of just dive right into it of kind of like your story, where you're coming from, and like I always say, a good perspective is like, with the early life is this is Big John. What was Little John saying?
Oh man, Little John was a sad little boy.
I mean, sad can be a variety of things. Like, let's expand on that a little bit.
Okay, so basic story about the middle child syndrome. Mom adored her firstborn son. Dad loved his youngest daughter. There wasn't much love left for middle John. But again, it makes you independent. It makes you stronger. I'm not going to say that my parents didn't love me, because I had very supportive, very loving parents, but you can tell that there was something missing in my life. Loving parents I had, but there was something missing in my life, and I felt different growing up.
You think it was like that individual attention? Because like me, this is from a perspective of the baby of my family. So I kind of always had that attention in a sense, but it's not like my parents like went out of their way to do it, but like at the end of the day,
you do it subconsciously.
Exactly.
Your parents will never, not all parents, most parents will never try to make any of their kids feel unloved or, unseen. But it just happens. Like, your firstborn is all your firsts. The first times they walk, the first time they eat, the first time they run, the first time they do something.
Yeah.
And then the lastborn, the mentality is, this is the last time I'm going to see this. The middle child goes, I already saw this, it's cute, it's cool, but seen there, been there, done that, you know what I mean?
Like, I got to take care of this one too. Like,
exactly, So
I feel that, and that's tough. Have you ever had the conversation with your parents about that?
Oh my God, they deny saying it never happened. It never happened. Oh, we love you guys all the same. No, I know you guys love us the same, but there was a feeling there that you got from seeing it from like an outside perspective. It's like I was watching my family sometimes living their lives, and I was on the outside.
Oh.
Again, I love my parents. They're very, very loving parents. They did a lot. They helped me as much as they could. But as a child, you feel it and you realize it.
See, that's tough. And like how was the one way that you like would pivot or like help cope with that, especially like when you said at the same time, as much as your parents love you, they don't like take the full accountability and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry that the XYZ.
Honestly, I'm actually grateful because I love my siblings to death, but I am very, very independent. I do a lot of things for myself, and I believe that shaped me and molded me to who I am, and I'm awesome.
You always gotta believe that. That's the problem. When people don't believe that, they look in the mirror and be like, fuck that person. It's like, nah, that guy's the shit.
You know what though? It took me a while to get to this point, to feel this confident, to feel this way. So when I was younger, I definitely had an identity crisis. I felt like something was missing. I felt like I had self-esteem issues. I felt like I wasn't proud of who I was then.
Okay.
Even into my early teens and late teens, early adulthood, I was like, oh man, you know what? Like, I could be better. Or I can do better. Or like, you know what? Like, who's this guy in the mirror? Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, what are you doing?
And see, you know what's crazy? I feel around that time, most of us feel the exact same way.
Because I think a lot of people feel this way sometimes.
Because I think about it too. When I was around that age, like teenage years, even going into adulthood, most of my life it was athlete. And when sports didn't work out for me like I thought it would, it was like, what the fuck? Who am I? Like I don't even know who I am, because my whole identity was baller, and now you're not that no more. So what the fuck do you do? Like, who are you? Like, and it's a trip, to be honest.
Honestly, you know what? It happens to a lot of athletes, and everyone thinks it's the high professional athletes. It's not. It's also the athletes that didn't get drafted, the athletes who didn't get a scholarship, the athletes who didn't even get looked at.
Because
your whole life was practice, after school practice, before morning practice, going to this tournament, going to that tournament, going to this city, going to that city.
Yep.
And then, you have this aspiration to be the guy. And then you're not the guy anymore, or you're not the guy ever. And you look yourself in the mirror and like, yo, you failed.
It really does feel like that. And the crazy part is, I love the experience regardless, because I love what it taught me going forward, like you said, because like now when I think about it, it helped me so much, like especially with the acting, because like I always kind of relate it right back to basketball, like little things where it's like, okay, I know this is my role, even if I mess up, and someone kind of gives me that look where it's like, bro, what the fuck what are you doing? Like, you know what you're supposed to be doing, and like it clicks back into basketball, like I just turn the ball over, and it's like looking at me the same way, and so that's why it helps me in that aspect. But it took me a long time to actually really know who I was, like, to be honest. And it was crazy enough. It probably wasn't until I found like acting to get back to like me,
Yeah.
Which is a crazy part. But
speaking of acting saved me, because honestly, like I mentioned, I wasn't really happy with who I was at the time, and playing a different character, getting to put on a persona, that helped. Because I got to be somebody else for the day or a couple days, and
the bravado that it gives you, you walk different, you carry yourself,
you talk different, you look at yourself differently, because you are that character momentarily, and like honestly, that helped me build my confidence because I'm good at it. So this is John playing this character, so John must be good at something, right? So honestly, acting saved me because it gave me the confidence and gave me the the aspiration to be more.
It's crazy that you even say that too, because I remember recently I saw an old commercial, Canadian classic, and it was with the kids where they're like, everybody's not like, nobody's good at everything, but somebody's good at something, and they got like the kid with the bugs and the tap dancing, and Mom, Aiden cut me in half again, like that shit. But like it almost made me tear up, really, because it was like, even as a kid, they were telling us that same thing. Not everybody's good at everything. Nobody's good at everything.
Nobody's good at everything.
But we're all good at something.
100%.
And if you love that something and you have a passion towards it, you'd be surprised where that bitch will take you.
Honestly, man, it's about wanting it enough. Do you want it enough? And if you don't want it enough,
you're not gonna get it.
No, because then maybe you don't really want it, and it's. Maybe your parents put that idea in your head. Maybe a loved one put that idea in your head. A significant other put that idea in your head. Oh, you have to be a lawyer. You gotta be a doctor. You gotta be an actor. You gotta be this. You gotta be that. If I don't want it enough, maybe I don't want to do that.
That's exactly how I felt. Like, because before I found acting, and even before I got hurt, I was just like, working in factories, Raymond Reach, forklift type shit, and I felt stuck. Like I literally was saying to myself almost every day. Like I'd wake up, be like, is the money worth it? Like, because I don't want to go. I feel like there's no growth here. Like, I'm not thinking to spend my rest of my fucking life working here. But I don't know what I want to do or what I want to be. And, like, I had to go through everything I did to find the real meaning and purpose to myself, which is to be a storyteller and inspire others as I do it. And, like, it's crazy that, in a sense, same thing for you. Like, where you kind of had to go through all these lulls and these downs to find something you love, to be like, oh, this is me. Like you said to me earlier, you saw color for the first time. Like it was just like, boom, oh shit, this is it. Like, and I love that. But now we're gonna sidetrack that into going back to Little John. What were some of the hobbies that you did growing up to kind of just for fun, kind of keep your mind off of the things that maybe you didn't want to think about all the time?
Honestly, I was an angry kid. I was angry all the time. I was frustrated all the time. And that had to do with many reasons, not just because like I felt like I didn't know who I was. So I played contact sports.
What kind of sports?
I played football. I played rugby. I was...
Yeah, those are all the sports I was like, I'm good still. Like, I'm a baller. Like, we take a 1-2 hits.
Yeah, I boxed for a while. I did judo for a few years. Yeah, I really enjoyed fighting.
Now, with that, because it's funny, fighting is a very disciplined act. which is crazy because like a lot of people when you would think when they hear anger issues and someone who loves fighting, but it's something very disciplined, right?
Honestly, doing the martial arts and doing the contact sports helped me channel my anger. So essentially, I never fought for no reason. I never laid hands on somebody that didn't deserve it, or unless it was a tournament or it was on the field. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't a bully by any means. I actually stood up for the kids who were being bullied.
Yeah, because a lot of people are pieces of shit, and like,
ain't that the truth?
it's just fucked up. But like, you know, the way of the world, like people are gonna pick on the weaker ones until either they stand up for themselves or someone comes in and is like, that's not happening on this watch.
Well, before I became an actor, you know, I wanted to be a cop.
Oh.
The goal was to be a cop, and then unfortunately I got hurt in my accident. Well, I had a couple of issues that prevented me from being a cop. I had a heart attack at 22 years old.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And I was at my fittest point in my life, and it was a hilarious story that I went to the hospital, and everyone thought I was on steroids. Because I was so jacked, so ripped. Because again, I was playing so many sports.
True.
So like, well, you taking roids? I'm like, I'm not taking roids. Like, we need to know what roids you're taking because we need to give you some medication to stop this from continuing, and you could die.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because 22 had a heart attack, and the size, the way you look, you know, they're gonna think that, like, you know.
The reason I had the heart attack is I got myself into a legal dispute that basically drowned me in legal debt.
Oh,
and
fuck.
As it started at 19, it prolonged until I was 24. You know, you had to work construction, you had to work security, you had to work landscaping. You're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not resting, you're not healing.
That's a lot of wear and tear on your body, like just as you're listing that. I'm like,
more wear and tear on your mental health. Right, so
trying
unfortunately,
to get the money, like, you know,
I was getting the money for lawyers. It wasn't money for my pockets.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's the worst part.
For me, I wasn't feeding me. I was feeding someone else.
You're getting the money to give right back to somebody else, and like, you know.
No, it was brutal, and unfortunately, I developed a virus that attacked my heart, and at 22 years old, I suffered a heart attack.
Jesus.
So I understand it from like everyone's perspective at the hospital at the time. Like, yo, like this guy is veins popping out of him because again, I wasn't eating or sleeping. I was always dehydrated. So you look more swole when you're dehydrated. That's what bodybuilders do.
Makes sense.
Right before a competition, they stop eating and they just stop drinking water.
And then all you see is muscle.
Muscle and veins. Right? So unfortunately, I collapsed. And again, they brought me back and I had to go through that little debate back and forth. Are you taking the roids? No. We're going to take your blood work and this is them. Check my blood work. And when it comes back negative, I expect an apology. I didn't get that apology, but they saved my life. So you know, you gotta look at it from the brighter side of things,
right? You know, it was two ways about it. Now, like, that's crazy. Just going over all that, just all like going through that in general and overcoming that. Now, now we talked about a little bit about the hobbies. Now, what were some of the things like the passions that outright just stood out to you as you're younger that feel kind of still carry on to this day?
Honestly, again, being frustrated and angry all the time and then playing contact sports and then doing drama classes and everything like that, I started falling in love with like camaraderie, teamwork, being a part of something. And having the coaches that I did that basically, you know, helped improve me as a person, improve me as an individual, as an athlete or as like, you know, a prospective actor one day, like you realize that, you know, you gotta be a part of something everywhere or every day.
No one does it by themselves, and like
no chance.
I feel maybe that's another reason why I loved acting so much, or love it so much. Is like you said, is that team aspect still, and becoming from us being athletes, all you really know is team aspect.
All you know
like
is team.
I mean, you played like some solo sports, but like still like when you play a team sport, there's nothing like it because like you said. People become strangers, become almost family because you guys are going through the trenches literally to get the one common goal. Like, you know, whatever that is, a win, great product at the end, whatever the fuck it is. And like, that's just a beautiful thing that it like, how these things can carry on through life. And it's crazy how they still connect even though they're so far apart in a sense.
Oh, acting and sports connect greatly, and I'll explain why. Your mentality as an athlete is you need to be the best person on the field.
Facts.
My mentality in the callback room is I need to be the strongest actor in the room. So
no matter what the fuck scene I'm doing, what part they have.
100%. If you want me to be a a psychotic, like jailmate or whatever, I'm turning my shirt the other way around and putting my arms into my sleeves and acting like as if I need to go to an asylum. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, you want to see something, I'm going to show you something even more.
And it has to feel authentic. Like, I feel like that's the thing for me with acting especially is, like, yeah, we're acting. But does it feel fucking real?
It has to feel real to it. It has to be authentic to the character, authentic to the story, and authentic to the scene.
Where it all just works. Like, I always tell people, it's like when you're watching a product and you kind of forget, like, these are people acting. This is not like real life. Like this wasn't. You're not a fly on the wall right here. 100%. Like and that's someone who's doing their fucking job. And like you said, it's great. Like that's the beauty of how sports and acting connect. Because like you said, even when I was an athlete, every time I stepped on the court, my thought process, even if I knew I wasn't, I'm the fucking best here. Because I need to think that. Because even if I got to be the best today, then I get the win today. Like because like we're just focused on what's right in front of us. So. I just love that connection because I feel like a lot of people don't really can connect those two things and see how drama or like acting in general and then sports can be honestly probably the best precursor if you really think about it.
It can be, yeah, because again, it's all about your mentality, your confidence,
Ompa mentality.
That's what it is because a casting director or director basically looking at you through the lens, if they even see a hint that you don't believe what you're doing, they can tell.
Yeah, you're out of there.
And then you're out of the room. And then you just won. You gave them a bad impersonation of yourself. And they might not call you in for the next one. So you go into every single room, whether you're the best actor or not, believing in the number one.
Because it's like, even if you don't pick me, you gonna remember me.
Exactly. Because 9 times out of 10, they're gonna pick someone for their look.
Exactly.
Right? And it's unfortunate because they just lost stock options on that product.
You fucked up right here.
You didn't hire me, y'all.
Hey, you fucked up.
You're not getting those sales marks. That quarter is gonna be set.
So now we're gonna switch gears a little bit, and I kind of like to always ask this question of like what people's walks like their views on just the world and just society right now as a whole, and like how do you feel and like. How do you feel that's affected you and then us, as a people?
Well, I think society is broken.
Definitely.
100% is broken because it's more about pointing fingers now. It's more about like who to blame, and even if the blame should be on you, you're not taking that onus. You're pointing the finger at someone else.
Yeah, I feel the key word that is always missing for most people nowadays is accountability.
100%. 100%.
People, because I always say it like this too. I guess. Maybe it's my actor brain going back to it where it's like everyone is the main character of their story. Mm-hmm. We're all walking around running our own movie. We're the main character. No one wants to look at themselves as the bad guy. In your own story too, let alone like someone else's story.
You know what? I think it's hilarious too, especially with actors. Like that the struggle is real. Mm-hmm. You know that you went through 100 auditions to book that one job. Mm-hmm. So when you get to set or when you get to the callback room or the audition room, I don't see you as my competition. I see you as a fellow actor, a potential friend, and like how can we help each other or benefit from our encounter? I went to set one time. It was hilarious. This was for a docuseries, and I was like, I always like to say, hey, how's it going? I'm John. Who are you? Who represents you? How long you been doing this? Just shooting the shit. And then I go to this guy and go, hey, how's it going? I'm John. And he goes, shh, I'm a character. Bro, we came here for a sock character. You have no lines. And you're in character? Okay. All right. No problem.
See, I've been lucky enough to not run into people like that. Because, like, for me...
you run into some unique people as an actor, man. It's definitely crazy. It's crazy.
And, like, for me, it's crazy because, like, my thought is this. Life is crazy as it is, like, our regular lives. When they yell cut, I am not trying to continue to be whatever the fuck I was just being in this moment in space. Because... I kind of have to get back in to deal with my own real life.
Yeah. So
for the fact that, like, okay, we're not rolling and you're saying you're in character, my first thought is, one, you didn't have to be a little bit of an asshole because, like, what? Yeah, your character doesn't talk, so what? You can't now just be real? Like, because you have no fucking lines. So what? That now you're in character? You're going to shut the fuck up?
I don't think it was that. I think he was just trying to be, like, in the right mindset, I guess. Don't get me wrong. I have training in method acting. I do believe in it, especially at the end of the day, whatever works for you as the actor,
you got to
works
do it
for you,
exactly,
right? But the thing is, though, so we get into the scene together, and it was funny because we weren't in the same scene, but they brought us both in at the same time because it was a bit of a travel distance to get to the shoot location. Motherfucker took 15-20 takes. You're in character, but you couldn't deliver. You had no lines, but you couldn't deliver the facial expressions that they were looking for. I had to cry in my scene. I got that in one take. One take. That's it. And the director full out said, "Thank God someone came prepared." I felt bad, but at the same time, like, you shush me, like, yo, you deserve that. I believe in karma. Karma bit you in the ass.
Right there. Like you said, and like the crying scene, people don't understand, like, because it's funny with those type of scenes. You kind of have to put yourself in a space. No one's asking you what the fuck you're thinking, but you got to put yourself into that space. Get there, and then. Okay, boom. Like, job complete.
You know what's funny? Like, everyone thinks acting is easy. Oh, yeah, you're just memorizing lines and you're just portraying the emotion. It's not. It's not that. You're going through so much rejection just to get in front of the lens. Like, I have family members that go, "Congratulations, that was awesome. That's something, you must have made a lot of money for that. You're so lucky." Whoa.
I tell people all the time, I am a starving artist. Like, the definition of that is me. Do not think I am balling. Like,
but it's not even about being lucky. I worked my ass off to get to that, like, to get that commercial, to get that TV show, to get whatever it was that I got. And it took time to prepare for that. It wasn't just like looking at a couple of lines and just getting in front of the camera and going, "Okay, action." No, it's not that. It's a lot of work, especially like on the emotional scenes. It drains you.
Yeah, because you have to feel it. And it, like, even me, when I practice lines, even by myself, I'm sitting there, like, I'm trying to really, like, my whole body's getting into it because you have to feel what you're saying, come across real, and sometimes even draw from your own experiences to really, like, get it. And imagine doing that, like, 50 times.
Oh my God. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy by any means.
Like, it's draining when you say doing it once, like, doing it like 50 times because you got to do it whether you rehearse it yourself. You're probably doing it right before you go on set. You're doing it on set how many times the director wants you to do it. And then you got to go.
Yeah.
and be you.
And be there the next day at 6 o'clock in the morning again for another day of shooting. Yeah. Again, we love it, though. That's why we do it. But it's not easy. So everyone who thinks being an actor is easy, you have no idea what it takes.
Far from it.
And you have no idea the upset and rejection that all actors go through. And I get it. All the famous A-listers say, "Hey, you go into the room, you do your thing, you walk out, you forget about it."
Submit and forget.
Submit and forget. But you know what? We're not Al Pacino that can be okay with that. We're not Brad Pitt that we can be okay with that. We're trying to one day remotely get to the 5% status that they have.
Yep.
So we don't forget. We go, because, okay, so for example, being a salesman, you're selling a product, correct? Or being being a salesman, you're selling a product or you're trying to sell a service.
Yeah.
Being an actor, you're selling yourself.
Every time.
So imagine getting 100 no's.
For you being
you. Or you portraying a character.
And you're trying to put you into that character.
I got in so many auditions for a security guard, or a dispatcher, a bodyguard, or a bouncer, and I haven't gotten them. I literally do that for a living. Do you know how upsetting that is? It's like, should I change?
Serious?
Should I change my day job? Like, I didn't get the fucking bouncer? Are you kidding? I have a reputation in the city for being one of the best bouncers.
You're like, what the fuck is this?
I literally work in security. I didn't get the security guard job. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Should I just, like, hang up my uniform and just quit my day job?
And, like, that's the thing. And, like, I kind of want to, like, bring that into my next question, too, because I always talk about, like, the mental health side of things and try to bring that more to the forefront. And in general, with us going through so much rejection, that's one of the mental health things that we got to deal with. How do you use that and, in turn that into now your motivator?
Oh man, honestly, it took time. It doesn't happen right away. I'll give you a funny story actually. Okay, so I've auditioned for Nintendo 4 times now.
Ooh.
3 times I've gotten a call back.
Ooh.
The most recent time, I destroyed this audition. Like, I'm saying, like, I should have had the part. I went in with like a family. It was a mother and her 2 kids, and I was supposed to be like the fun uncle. And like so she told me that the 2 kids were a little new to acting. So I was like, no problem. Like, I'll try
warm up.
I'll try to warm them up, make them feel comfortable, this and that. And I asked him politely, like, is it okay if I put, like, my hand on your shoulders and say, hey, kiddo, like, as, like, a fun uncle? I said, no, yeah, no problem, whatever. So we go, you see, like, you know, the director says action, and they were a little, like, nervous. I jump in right away and, like, start getting the scene flowing and flowing and flowing. And then they were fantastic. They were great. Naturals. You know, the director yelled, cut. That was fantastic. That was great. They were laughing through the whole entire scene.
Perfect.
I'm like,
this
is the one.
Sometimes the kids will fuck you up. I know.
It
sounds bad to say out loud.
I know.
But, like, I've had an audition where I'm like, yo, these fucking kids, bro.
Yeah, but they're learning. They're young. They'll get the hang of it as they get a little bit older and a little bit more experience. So I'm just waiting for that booking game. Like, you booked Nintendo. And I don't get it. But I found out that the mother and the two kids got it, and I didn't because it was based on the look. I didn't look like their uncle. Because they were blonde, blue-eyed, and Caucasian, and I'm Hispanic.
Fuck. Yo, the way the world works nowadays, you could damn well be their uncle. Like,
it's possible, yeah. It's 2024.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, bro.
I could have been their uncle twice removed, or like married into the family. You don't know.
You mean you could have a brother that's more white skin, and then he had a child with a white woman?
Thank you. But I had to go take my dogs on a walk after I got the news that I didn't get it, and I had to walk, and I teared up. Because, like, I love Nintendo. It was for Mario Kart, and I grew up with those games. I still play them to this day.
Right.
And I was like, this is my 4th time now. I got in 3 callbacks from Nintendo. This one has to be the one. Because I really want to go to Vancouver. It was for Vancouver, and I really want to go. And I didn't get it. And it was hard. It was a hard rejection because I crushed the initial audition, destroyed the callback, and then the family that I went in with got it, and I didn't.
This sounds like the story I was telling you earlier off camera about, like, fucking ABC show that I auditioned for, because I felt the same way, where it's like, what more do you want from me? Like, that Tyrese meme, like, it's like, I've done it all. Like, come on. Like, what do you want me to give?
Yeah.
But it's knowing that exactly what you said. You killed that shit. Mm-hmm. You're probably the reason why they booked it, because you killed it so much.
Potentially, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And that just means that they remember that. They brought you in so many times. They know who the fuck you are. It's going to come back around. I always say the curve always comes around. You know, it's
Nintendo, I'm waiting.
You better hit my boy up. You better hit him up. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I love that, like, you could take something like that, something you wanted to desire so hard, the disappointment of it, but then still be motivated to get right back on the horse, like, you know? Yeah. Because, fuck, it's not easy.
It's not easy, man.
You know, especially those times, because it's like, you don't even really know how you're really going to cope through the situation when you're going through the situation, because your whole thought is, I got this. Mm-hmm. And then, oh no, and now it's like, well, fuck. Like, you know, and you're kind of stuck, and definitely know I've been through that a few times.
I say, it's going to be a weird way to put it. So imagine being 13, you know, going through puberty, going through those hormone changes, and finally building up the courage to ask your crush out on a date, and they literally turn around, laugh at you, and say no.
Ew. Or they say that. Ew.
But sometimes the rejection, it feels similar.
It is. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. And, like, again, a salesman selling a product or a service that has nothing to do with them. You're literally trying to sell yourself.
Every time.
And you get that no, and like, oh my god, that 13-year-old boy like came right back and got rejected when I asked a girl out, and she said no.
See, like, now I kind of want to transition that into, like, coping, because I feel like a lot of people, we all go through our downs, but then the coping is always a tough issue now. With that, like, I feel like the key term right now that we're dealing with is rejection. But, like, with that, though, how have you always coped with it? Because, especially now with our job, we deal with it fucking almost on a daily basis.
You know, for example, my wife always used to tell me, you didn't get this one, you get the next one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like because she's not an actress, she doesn't understand sometimes. So talking to other actors or talking to other people in the community of your industry, it helps. It helps.
You feel like you're not on an island. Right?
Exactly. And honestly, that has helped me cope. And, finding out different strategies or different tips or, like, just talking amongst, like, your creatives. And, like, that has helped me. So, like, I've usually used to go on set and just, like, I always shoot the shit and, like, we exchange Instagram handles and that'd be the end of it. But now, like, there's a couple, like, actors that I've been on set that I still talk to here and there, and they go, like, hey, like, congratulations on your booking, or congratulations on your other booking.
Shit, look at us. Like, we were together, like, almost, like, a year ago. Like,
exactly. And then sometimes with one of the actors or one of your friends that you built a relationship with, you go, like, hey, man, I didn't get this one. And they tell you, like, bro, they lost out.
And, like, literally, we had this conversation when you first got in here.
Yeah. So, honestly, for me, coping, it's like talking it out. I need to talk it out.
Real shit.
But I need to talk it out with someone who understands what I'm going through.
And that's the key, because, like, we work in such an industry where not a lot of people are going to get it unless you're in it.
Exactly. Like, you need to talk to people who are in it.
You can't be outside looking in and get it, because you don't get it. You don't have to, okay, they said we wanted to meet, like, a quick recall today at this time. Now you got to drop everything you got to fucking do to be there, to be on point with, for these people, for them most likely to tell you no.
Exactly. That's another thing. Like, recalls tomorrow at this time. I had a whole day planned.
Don't matter.
Don't matter. Exactly. It does not matter. Yo, you can't come in. We don't want a Zoom call back. Fuck. Now you got to reorganize your whole entire day and try to make it happen, and you might get the yes, or you still might get a no.
But we keep pushing. We keep pushing. That's how you turn the negative into the positive with communication. Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful thing about that. And all right, like, I want to keep the conversation going, but, like, I think we're dying a little bit over here.
Oh, the battery, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This is why we might have to get a part 2 in here. You never know. We might have to get a part 2 in here. But before we do, we're going to transition a little bit. John, let them know the things you've been working, that you're allowed to talk about. The things you've been working on, what's coming now, what to look forward to. We didn't even get into my boy right here is a writer. He be putting these stories out too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yes. I just filmed the short film. I was the lead.
Amazing.
And they're going through the editing process right now. It should be premiering, I think, either in November, mid-December. Perfect. And then it's going to go through the film festival cycle in January.
Oh, amazing.
Which is great. Amazing. I am a writer, like you mentioned, and my feature film is going through the preliminary stages now to get greenlit.
Woo!
Full feature.
Fuck!
Yeah, it's been a 14-year in the making.
You gotta dap me up for that. That's big. That's big shit, right?
And that's the reason why I had the heart attack, because it was a legal dispute over my script.
Fuck you, bro. Whoever that was, fuck you.
Yeah.
But see, like you said, the way things go around, we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's that's gonna make it even sweeter.
100%. Like, I personally, I believe in karma. I believe in positive, good vibes, energy, and I've been trying to put as much of it out there into the world. Not because I'm trying to reap back the reward, but being a good person is always a good
paying
thing.
Forward.
I'm a father to 2 boys, and I want to basically be a good example to them. And I feel like things are finally starting to come around and go my way now, right?
That's beautiful. And I love that too, just the father figure part, because for me, growing up with me having my dad at home, which unfortunately isn't always the norm nowadays, I saw him, and that was literally my role model. And like, he doesn't, he works for like he works for like Toronto Hydro and shit, and it wasn't like a role model necessarily for his job, but like the way he carried himself as a man, that was like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do as a grown, responsible 100%. Man that take cares of the fam. And I love that is a part of it too, especially for you, because we need more of that out here. So shout out to all the good fathers. Now, John, before we get out of here, you got to throw up your Instagram handles, everything where we can catch you, where we can catch all the stuff that you be getting into.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's JONDUQUE _
Have it right here. Everywhere, and we get that. I think we're gonna have to come back for part 2, because I really do love these conversations. We got to get the deep dive a little bit more, But right now, Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, because we back. It's been a long time. My homie John here has now motivated me in many ways. Oh, fuck. It's okay.